First, let me know in the comments if you're watching the replay. Drop hashtag replay in the comments. And then let me know your thoughts on this, because I attended an event today where the focus was all about subscriber count. In fact, 99% of the case studies and the testimonials were all about subscriber count. Now, it does look impressive. It does help you get to the point of getting a plaque. It does help you get into the YouTube Partner Program, right? With 1,000 subscribers plus the 4,000 public watch hours and a rolling 365 days, which all of that takes time to get, right? So during conversations that I have with women over 40 who are considering using YouTube as a platform for growing or scaling their business, one of the holdbacks for them mentally is that they look at what others are doing and saying, in order to be successful on YouTube, I need to have a high subscriber count. And that is so far from the truth. You don't even need to have any subscribers in order to get a sale. Well, hear me out. And here's an example. I had a client just getting started on YouTube, and this was about a year ago. I'm focused more on helping women scale their businesses now. I can still help you get started, but I definitely can help you get started with YouTube, just not helping you get started with your business, to clarify. But so she was getting started with YouTube, and that was one of her concerns too. She's like, she felt intimidated by the fact of getting started on YouTube and not having a huge audience on there. She had, I think, about 3,000 or 4,000, if I remember correctly, connections or followers, friends on Facebook, and that's where the majority of her audience was. She had started using Instagram, but it wasn't really working out for her. And so through conversations, I'm like, you really need to be on YouTube. She saw the value, said yes, absolutely. And so going through that process, developing the strategy with her and keeping the focus on how to get her ideal audience, her dream clients, those people who needed what she had, to get them to watch her videos. Nowhere in there does it mean that you have to subscribe to a channel, right? So you can watch someone's video. In fact, you've probably done this. If you've got videos on your homepage when you first log in and there's a video there and you're like, hey, that looks interesting, but you know that you're not subscribed to their channel, you still watch it, right? And then even if you don't subscribe to their channel, you're still going to see their content on the homepage because you've already watched their video. So there's a whole influx of other things that are happening, and the subscriber count is irrelevant when it comes to building your business on YouTube. Hi, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, drop hi in the comments. Let me know where you're joining from too. Would love to know. So subscriber count is essentially just a vanity metric. It is a number that can help you get other things later on, like your plaque, like getting into the YouTube Partner Program. But when you're looking at scaling your business, if you take those elements out and say a plaque and getting into the YouTube Partner Program, those two things alone are not going to help you grow your business. Now, the YouTube Partner Program will help you get an additional stream of revenue, but it is not going to be a way to grow your business. And so how I work with clients is to develop a strategy that's going to help them scale their business by using videos that are curated to attract their dream clients, so that their dream clients see their videos and they're like, oh my gosh, this video based on the thumbnail and title look really helpful. And then they watch it. And so, hey, thanks for joining. Rochester, New York. Nice. That's a great area. I used to work for a Yellow Pages company. Yes, that's dating me. But Rochester, New York was actually one of our areas where we published the Yellow Pages, the phone directory. It's a really nice area. So developing the strategy around how can we get more of those people who you want to work with to view your videos. And so that all comes down to understanding who your target market is, right? So you hear people talk about this all the time, but it really goes beyond like just the demographics and saying, you know, for me, it's like, okay, well, I want to work with women over 40. Well, it's like, okay, but what is the psychographic side of that? The behaviors, the emotional side, which is really diving into the problems and the challenges and what they're ultimately trying to accomplish, and then how what I do can help them actually do that. And so, same thing with you when you're developing your YouTube channel. It's all about really like your starting point is all about knowing who your ideal customer is and really investing some time up front to understand and do a deep dive and really iron out and detail like what that person is. In fact, I have a name for my ICA or my dream client is called Sarah. So whenever I'm doing something, I'm always like, would Sarah like this? Would Sarah be interested in this video? Would Sarah click on this? Would Sarah be interested in this lead magnet? So there's always this component of double checking to see if Sarah, my dream client, would be interested in what it is that I'm creating. And if it's no, then I need to go back to the drawing board and figure out like what I need to do in order to make that a better connection for her to say yes. And so once you have that piece drilled down and you know who that person is and why they're interested, why they are viewing your content or looking for your content to begin with, that's going to help you develop the strategy and the videos and the content that's not only going to get them to watch that first video, but it's going to get them to watch additional videos. So do you hear what I'm talking about here? I'm talking about watching videos. I'm not saying subscribing to your channel. Like subscribing to your channel has zero relevance to any type of buyer behavior, right? I mean, anybody can do that. You could run ads, and that is your call to action. Like a lot of people, in fact, I know for a fact, a lot of channels, in fact, one that I worked with, and I didn't know this up front, but his channel had over 1 million subscribers. And then I found out later, once I started working with him, I'm like, why are his videos not getting that many views? Like it didn't make sense. The math didn't math. And so I was trying to understand it and then just ask the question. And sure enough, he was just running ad after ad after ad. So people were subscribing to the channel based on a paid ad. Now, was it targeted to his target audience? Of course. But was it doing the deep dive to help those people understand that when they see a 30-second ad, that that's a channel that can ultimately help them with whatever it is that they're looking to solve, to grow, to take the next step, to overcome whatever that is. And so subscriber count is irrelevant when it comes to growing your business. And so when I work with my clients, we focus on the videos, the views, and binge watching your videos, because those are all interest in your content, which is going to give you the signal of these videos are working, so I'm going to create more of those. And then it also shows you buyer intent. So if they're binge watching your videos, not only are they interested in your videos and your content, but they're getting to know, like, and trust you, which is taking them a step closer to buying from you. And then, wait, there's more. And then when you include the links in your videos to a lead magnet, to a low ticket offer, to a call with you, whatever the most appropriate next step is for those individuals based on that video, that step in the buyer journey, the content, the call to action, whatever that is, that's what's ultimately going to help them take that action to say yes to buying from you. And none of that has anything to do with subscriber count. Your subscriber count doesn't mean anything when it comes to growing your business. And so I thought it was really interesting because if you ever attend events where there's someone from YouTube who's talking about getting started with YouTube, growing your business on YouTube, really pay attention to the content that they're sharing with you and what it means. Yes, it's impressive to see a slew of customers who have grown their channel to, over 100,000, and they helped them get their plaque. That's impressive. But how much money did they make? How did that help them make a bigger impact, not only in their business, but with their community? How did that help them create a loyal community that gets to learn from each other and that helps them grow as one collective unit? Like, where's the impact in that? And your subscriber count is not going to help you do any of that, right? It is massive numbers. But if those 50,000, 100,000 people are just clicking a button to say that they subscribe, but they don't do anything, they don't watch your videos, they don't engage in the comments, they don't click on your links to get any of your resources, and they definitely don't say yes to working with you, then what's the point of the subscriber, right? So I wanted to bring this up because I'm seeing it more and more, and because I was attending that event today where that was the main focus in all of the case studies and all the testimonials. I'm like, I need to talk about this. And then what was interesting is that I've noticed that my energy has shifted over the last probably last 5 days, and it's kind of gotten into this like higher elevated position where I'm starting to see a lot more connections and nuances. It's really interesting, and this was just another example. So here I was, thinking about this, talking about this, and then I got the email notification from vidIQ that showed that today marked the day where I hit 300,000 views on my channel. And so I was just like, it was divine timing. And so it's time for me to talk about this. So it seemed like the best time to bring awareness to why subscriber count doesn't mean anything right now. It's a goal that you should have, absolutely. One of my goals is to get the 100, the silver play button, which is getting to 100,000 subscribers. But if I'm going to have that be my only focus, and my focus isn't on serving my clients or my ideal audience to help them overcome something, with me, it's just getting started and growing your business on YouTube. If those individuals are just hitting a button and saying, okay, I'm going to subscribe to this channel, but they never watch a video, they never engage in my videos, they never download any of my resources that are going to help them take that next step and be successful on YouTube, then that subscriber there's no value there, right? So let me know in the comments if you're joining live, if this is resonating with you, if you're watching the replay. Let me know as well. I figured that this was probably going to be a hot topic where people are just like, I don't know if I agree with her on this. Like there could have been some pushback on it. And I would love to know, your thoughts, whether you're watching this live with me or if you are watching the replay, your thoughts on the value of a subscriber. Again, I'm not saying they're completely irrelevant, but if you're getting started or you're growing your channel, you're growing your business. So I work with 6 and 7 figure business owners. So, they already have a business that they grew successful on another platform. And so adding YouTube is a way for them to, because I work mostly with women over 40. So it's like, you're getting to that point of your life where you're done hustling and you're done like being glued to your screen and you're done like having to post every single day and play the algorithm game. And so YouTube is becoming very attractive to them because they're seeing that you only need to post one video a week, or if you're just getting started, you could post one video every 2 weeks and you don't have to play the algorithm game. So it's a huge time saver. And it's like, you're not playing that mental health game of like, oh, I didn't post today. Or, if you love posting like all day long and you love being stuck to your screen and you love not being able to take a vacation because if you do, you're going to lose your reach and you're gonna have to like come back and do double time to get back to where you were before. That's great. I'm at the point in my life where I'm done with the hustle and I want to help other women who are interested in not hustling for leads and sales anymore to actually look at smarter ways to grow and scale their business beyond social media. And so YouTube is the best place to do that. And the reason why I focus on that. So it's a huge passion of mine. I absolutely love helping women get started and grow their businesses with YouTube and integrating YouTube into what they're already doing that's successful on other platforms too. So a quick example is that, because this has nothing to do with subscriber count, but because I just mentioned it, I figured I'll go ahead and give the example. So there's someone on LinkedIn that I'm connected to. Her name is Brenda Miller with Miller Marketing, and she is phenomenal at this. So she has a YouTube channel, and she is a LinkedIn, I want to say trainer, but she's like my go-to person for anything LinkedIn. So she helps people who work at companies, but then also entrepreneurs grow and capture their piece of the LinkedIn pie. So pie is actually one of the icons that she uses. But anyway, she, like in her posts and then even in comments, she'll actually share YouTube video links as an answer to a question. So here's an example. She had made a post, this was like a few months ago, And she was talking about how so on LinkedIn, you get a bunch of people who just like spam you with, they're like cold emails. They're not even interested in you or your content. They just want you to buy from them. So I'm just like, yeah, I would love to just be able to turn that off. And she's like, oh, you can. I'm like, really? And so instead of saying, yeah, here's how you do it in the comments, she actually had a video already created on her YouTube channel that, if I remember correctly, it was created like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And it was like a 2 or 3 minute video, so it wasn't super long. It wasn't a YouTube short, but it was a step by step on how to go into my LinkedIn settings and turn this feature off. So it was extremely helpful. So that's a great example of, and it's a really simple example of how you can leverage what you're doing on YouTube and what you're doing on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, and leverage the content that you're creating on YouTube and blend the two together, right? So in that instance, had I not already been connected with Brenda, I actually did an audit of her channel a couple of years ago. So I was connected to her at that point. But had I not already been connected to her, because she went above and beyond and she had a resource that visually walked me through how to do this, and she made it super simple, I definitely would have subscribed to her channel at that point, because she was showing me all of this wonderful information. And not only subscribed so I can make sure that I see her videos in my notifications, because I always hit the bell on those individuals, but also I went through her videos to see what other nuggets of helpful tips she had already created. And so she has a bunch of them. And again, those were from like 3 or 4 years ago. And I share that with people a lot with my video content today, is that I created videos in 2000. I don't get so much on the one I created in 2020 anymore, but like 2023, actually a few weeks ago when I was doing a presentation for a local event, I had looked at my videos that had gotten views in the last 48 hours. And so that's one of the metrics that you can look at in YouTube Studio. And so I did a screenshot. And the reason why I did that is because, very similar to Brenda's videos, is that my 3 videos, the top 3 videos that were viewed the most in the last 48 hours as of that morning, were all from 2000. I know 2 were from 2023. One of them might have been from 2024 or 2022. Anyway, they were from a long time ago. And those were the most viewed videos in the last 48 hours. So when you create content like that, that doesn't have a timestamp, it doesn't have an end date or an expiration date, which is what we call evergreen content, and you create that and you put it on your YouTube channel, not only can you share it in different places, but when somebody finds those nuggets on your channel, then they're going to be more likely to view them. Those were an example. So the 2 I can remember were related to using green screen on YouTube. And so I was walking through how to use green screen with I think it was the YouTube Create app. Maybe it was just through YouTube in general. But that kind of content's really helpful. And those are videos that are getting views, right? So I'm being helpful. I'm giving information. Just like Brenda was giving information, she was being extremely helpful. So that all goes towards views and your video watch time. Public, because they were public videos. Those are the things that are going to help you get into the YouTube Partner Program, but they're also showing buyer intent. So if I was an ideal audience or target market for Brenda and I'm viewing her content, then I would definitely go and have a conversation with her to see how she could help me grow my slice of the LinkedIn pie. And the same thing is true with people who view my videos. If they found what they needed in that one video about how to use a green screen on YouTube, and that's all they needed, great. They're going to remember my name, or they're going to have my video in their viewing history, so that if they ever need to say, hey, that video I watched about the green screen was really helpful, they now can go back through their video history, see my name, come back to my channel, watch some more content, right? Or they'll see that content on their homepage whenever they log into YouTube. So there's so many benefits to actually viewing content and binge watching content, which is very similar to what I call like the Netflix effect. You sit down to watch Netflix, you're not just going to watch one show, you're going to like binge watch a bunch of shows, right? Of the same series. So that's where there's so much more value in YouTube, is the videos themselves, the views that you gain, and the signals it sends you as the creator as to the content that you're creating, that it's resonating with the people that who ultimately need it. So you're not going to create, videos for. I use this all the time in my training. I probably used it here before too. Like an example I've been using all the time is growing an in-home garden. So I think at some point I'm meant to actually have an in-home garden. And I've planted the seed enough that I probably will. Planted the seed in here, and then it'll be time to plant the seed there. But if I'm going to, if I'm interested in watching videos on how to grow an in-home garden, I'm going to search on YouTube, I'm going to see the videos, and I'm going to watch them. But if one happened to land on my homepage, but I'm not in the market for that, I'm not interested in that, then I'm not going to watch the video, right? So there has to be some type of signal or buyer intent or viewer intent in order for those videos to actually be displayed someplace for you to see them and for you to actually click on them and view them. So hopefully this has been helpful. Again, if you're watching the replay, let me know. We get to be done hustling. Sorry, I'm just now seeing this comment. I'm not sure if you're still on here. Follow that dream. We get to be done hustling. Where do I sign? Just running to dance, but looking forward to seeing the replay, Vicki. Awesome. Yeah, definitely leave any questions or comments. Yeah, we can be done hustling. Absolutely. When you're on YouTube, you don't have to hustle. If you're going to create YouTube shorts and create them every day, that might be a hustle. But if you're going to be creating long form video content on YouTube, in fact, if you search for it and look it up, the YouTube algorithm team or the YouTube team actually says that they only recommend one video a week. And you'll see people posting more. The most you should ever post is 2 a week. So when you compare that to posting, 5 times a day on TikTok, or if you're going to post, every day on Facebook, multiple times on Facebook. You could post once a day on LinkedIn. Some people post multiple times on LinkedIn. So they're hustling. It's a constant hustle, right? Because you have to constantly post in order to stay relevant. On YouTube, you don't have to do that because that's not the way the algorithm is designed. The algorithm is designed for people, the searchers, or the people who are seeking information to look for you. And it's up to you as the creator to build your video library in your channel so that you attract those people who are searching for you. And those videos you create can still be relevant weeks, months, years down the line. And I've got more than just those 3 videos that showed up that one morning where I was showing the videos, the top 3 videos in the last 48 hours. Like, I've got many videos where I've had people leave comments and I'm like, when was this video created? Like, this was a while ago, and it could have been like 18 months ago. So there's so much value in creating content on YouTube, and it's not a hustle platform. It's a platform where you're creating for the long game. You'll get the views, you'll get interaction early on, but it's really a place where you can build not just your library, but your legacy, because those videos last forever. Now, if you're in a like a news type niche where you're reporting on like breaking news or only the latest and greatest technologies, that sort of thing, then you might have more time stamp type content that may not have, the longer shelf life. But even if you're creating content on like the latest camera, right? Maybe you're a photographer, maybe you're just a tech gadget person, and you're doing, video reviews on different types of cameras. Maybe you're doing like the latest and greatest, but here's the thing, is that not everybody's always looking for the latest and greatest cameras, right? So even if you created a video today and 2 years down the road, there's been like multiple new additions or new cameras that have come out, there are going to be people who are still looking for that camera that you created the video for today, because not everybody's in the market for the latest and greatest, right? There's all different price points. There's all different types of, quality, brands. There's too many different variations. So not everybody's going to be in the market for that, right? I'm having fun with YouTube. Not looking for more clients. Yeah, Brenda is awesome. Oh, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I love Brenda. Definitely come back, follow that dream. Let me know. I'm trying to think of that name. Who's associated with that name? Let me know. It's not coming to me right off the bat, but I would love to know. So that's what I'm going to talk about. I would like to know too, if you're watching the replay, your thoughts on subscribers versus views. I was hoping that would spark an interesting conversation. I was hoping. Yeah, coming back, watch the replay, even if you have some questions or thoughts to kind of spark some interest, I would love to know. All right. Thank you so much for being here. If you joined me live, whether it was for a moment in time, if you were here for a longer duration, I really appreciate it. Hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully this gets you thinking through and getting past that thought that you have to have subscribers in order to be successful on YouTube. And hopefully I was clear enough in the messages that I was sharing in how you can be successful on YouTube without the subscriber count. Again, you can have 0 subscribers and you can still make sales with your videos. It's just, you just can. It's logical. It's completely possible. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you have questions after watching the replay, leave them in the comments. As soon as I see them, I always respond to them. Of course, if I'm sleeping, it'll take me a little bit longer, but if I'm awake, that notification pops up on my phone. As soon as I see it, I respond. So, and if you want to work with me so I can help you with a strategy, help you build your lead conversion system, which is what I'm known for. That's what I love to do. I'm very passionate about it. We get really deep on who your ideal customer avatar is, because that is the basic infrastructure for having a successful channel that gets you results. Okay, you'll get subscribers just as a byproduct. But we focus on, if you're interested in getting sales and you're wanting to have an additional revenue stream, or if you want this to be your main revenue stream, then let's chat. I will include a link. Actually, there's a link in the description already, I believe. I'll check it as soon as I'm done here, and make sure that it's in the description, so that if you want to, you're serious about getting started, then definitely book a call with me so that we can see what option is going to be best for you. I've got do it yourself. I've got done with me. So we do like, working one-on-one, but then I also have one-on-one and then like small group. So different options depending on what works best for you. But let's have a conversation if you're serious about it. And don't wait. If you're one of those people who's just like, I'm going to wait until, I've had too many people say this. I'm like, I just don't get it. I'm going to wait until September. I'm going to wait until Q4. I'm going to wait until the end of the year. Like, why? That's like the busiest time of the year. And if you're going to start it at that point, you're missing the busiest time of the year. So having your channel up and running, like now's the best time to do it. And you might be thinking, yeah, but summer's really slow. That's the reason to do it now. When it's slow, it's the best time to actually get your channel up and running. So let's get your channel up, running, working for you. We'll have it sync up with what you're doing on any of the other platforms. I love doing that and strategizing and making it work for you. All right. But we can't do that unless we actually have a conversation. So I'll make sure the link is in the description, and definitely let me know if you want to get started. Again, sooner than later is going to be the best for you. All right. Thank you again for being here. If you showed up live, I appreciate you. And if you're watching the replay, remember to drop #replay in the comments. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.